Hello everyone, Ginny here, joined with Caliste from KC ahead of their matchup against Fnatic. And it's really this bot lane that everybody is looking forward to because yourself, there was a lot of promises when you'll be joining the league, and Upset has been a veteran and he's been playing really, really well as well over the last couple of weeks, especially here in winter. So we thought it would be great to have your opinion on Upset as an AD carry. We'll start off by playing some clips of him playing Kalista, and then maybe you could give us your insight.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Well, first things first, I think Upset is a really good AD carry. When he's confident, I think he's like for sure in the competition between the best AD in Europe. And the interesting thing in these clips that I see already from now is that, well, he always has a good position and he can always hit the first target without getting punished. That is, well, the first step of being a really good AD carry. And also, he doesn't miss any frame to actually deal damage in these teamfights. I think he's playing good on the limit, and he actually also sees really well when he can actually like just send it and go really deep. As I said, I think Upset is a really good AD carry. I'm excited to play against him tomorrow. And I think he's really good on Caliste also, so let's see if he picks it.
Or maybe it's banned. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
We'll see.
Thank you so much for those like really incredible words about Upset as an AD carry, because we also had him say something about you. So we'll play the clip and then you can react to his thoughts and opinions.
Okay.
Have anything that you want to say to him?
I mean, honestly, I'm just really excited. It's been a long time, I think, since like a really good AD carry joined the league. So I'm just really looking forward to playing against him, especially because I played in KC last year and the fans were so nice with me too. So I just really want to have a really good showing for all the fans, I would say, and make sure we win tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much. Some wholesome words, right?
Yeah, some wholesome, not trash talk or anything. I think anyways we respect each other. I think we both know that we are pretty good AD carries. And then, yeah, I really hope also it will be a good match tomorrow and not just one-sided, because I think both teams are really good and they can actually show great things. So, I mean, if there is a stomp, it's a stomp. Like, one team will be better and that's it. But a good and long, excited game will be really fun, I think, for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward towards that bot lane and seeing which one of the two AD carries comes out on top. Appreciate your time so much. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Always nice to hear from both players in such a wholesome way here. And we see Fnatic entering the studio. Mikyx smiling, Malak not smiling. He's
nice
locked
win.
in. He is locked in here. Hi, Oscar. Hi. Okay, super happy to be here. What do we have on the other side? We have, of course, le blue wall. Ella, the blue wall is here, cheering for the team. They seem locked in as well. They see, I mean, they have like a hay of honor just waiting for them in the studio. I think that's going to be a match to remember, guys. I'm really, really excited about this bot lane.
I'm really excited. There's just so many storylines here. Upset was him last year. Now Caliste is him. But he is him. But the question is, who's going to be him after this game? And But also on top of that, my most important question is, what is Ta?
What is Ta? Ta is Ta. I think the chat knows. But let's focus on Nick here.
Kind of halfway translated.
You know the drill, Twitch chat.
Winner of today will take #1 spot in the LEC, and obviously this is an incredible hype matchup. They're both from both from Karmine Corp last year. He was on the academy team. He was on the main team. Upset, while he had a lot of question marks in 2023 overall, his performance, or 2024 rather, his performance here in 2025 has been absolutely amazing. We saw some of the Kalista clips. Kalista was also breaking down himself. And quite frankly, I think Upset has just found the confidence he lost so long ago with the pieces he has around him as well in Fnatic, where he's able to do so much more with his positioning and his role as an AD carry.
I completely agree with you, but although bot lane is extremely hyped on both sides, the man I want to look at is K-Corp's top lane, Canna, because I think that all of a sudden he took the league by storm. He's having incredible stats, and even in this clip right now, he is one of the only players that is consistently doing so well in the lane swaps. Right now in Europe, we see this trend of top laners getting abused in the lane swap, but now he's actually making plays, mid-maxing plays on the weak side when he's not supposed to be making these plays.
I mean, because of these reasons, well, I'm really hoping we're not seeing a lane swap. I know it's a lot to ask for, right? Because we're hyping up the bot lane matchup. Now you got Canna versus Oscar as well. The problem is we'll probably see them on opposite sides, and then we'll have to go from there. But I really do hope that from a viewer perspective, we're seeing this champions where they actually will have an impact in terms of how gifted they are mechanically, and they can showcase that in today's matchup.
What do you guys think it's going to come down to, though? Because yesterday we had the conversation that MKOI was supposed to be potentially the strongest team. I think we can review that statement for now after the game they played yesterday. So is that actually the battle for the best team in the LEC?
I mean, I'm actually looking at the mid lane matchup. I'm looking at Vladi specifically against Humanoid. I think Vladi once again has been an incredible performer on this KC roster, and I think Humanoid has moments where he's having some oopsies every now and then. Having mid lane priority to either play for your bot lane, moving with your jungler, I think that can be crucial in today's matchup.
I would like to double down on Vladi as well. I think that he was one of the rising rookies in the previous year. I thought his performance was ramping up throughout summer, but right now it really feels like all the pieces click on K-Corp. They have so many clutch factors on the team, especially with Vladi right now taking an important role. I think he didn't really have a single bad game this split, and it really feels like everything is coming together. Yike and Vladi is a deadly duo, and having these multiple threats everywhere on the map does work wonders for K-Corp.
Who's taking it then?
Well, I said Fnatic earlier, so you know that's that.
You're still holding on to that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm dressed in blue, you know, so...
Are you dressed in blue?
I'm fit for the occasion. It's K-Corp winning, of course. Easy dub.
We'll see about this race for first place here in the regular season for KC in our match of the week against Fnatic.
Este Fnatic contra Karmine Corp pinta espectacular porque ambos equipos vienen como contendientes a ser top en la región. Algo que siento que no había ocurrido antes en un Fnatic contra K-Corp, y por eso ahora tiene como este aura de luchar por primer puesto, de partido de la semana, de partido de grandes titanes de la LEC, de la competición europea ahora mismo. Y grandes titanes como también son Upset y Caliste, que pintan ser dos de los mejores AD Carries de 2025. Upset yo creo que ya está consagrado como uno de los mejores AD Carries que ha dado nunca Europa.
He dodges damage, he dodges death, and I don't think you're dodging this if you skew on right to melee. Upsets Ezreal clean as ever.
Y Caliste quiere coger ese rol de el nuevo gran talento tanto de Francia como de Europa, y de momento pinta muy bien Caliste.
They just end up going that little bit too deep for him. I want to see here, so flashes away, doesn't get the... Yeah. That was so well played by Caliste.
También quiero destacar el matchup de medio, donde Humanoid se enfrenta contra Vladi. Creo que comparten una champion pool parecida, y Humanoid lleva siendo durante unos años uno de los top midlaners de la competición, mientras que Vladi también está ganándose ese hueco especial en la tabla alta de midlaners de Europa. Así que va a ser un matchup reñido y espectacular. Pero si tuviera que elegir un ganador, creo que obviamente me decanto por Fnatic. Always Fnatic, toca ganar hoy, vamos con todas.
Let's go. Welcome everyone to the match of the week. KC versus Fnatic, a battle for top two at the very least. If KC win, they will lock first. If Fnatic win, they lock top two, because technically if MKOI went out, blah, 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 blah. The most important thing is these teams have already locked playoffs, but it's an important game. But it's an important game. And we saw yesterday that, obviously last week, both teams locking so early felt like a pretty good sign. But I think both teams day one, a little scrappier, a little sloppier than initially expected. So I imagine teams will have taken that lesson to heart and stepped things up as we head into their second match of the week. Jace banned, now going to see the Skarner as well.
Yeah, and I just hope that both of these teams really want more than just playoffs, that they're really hungry for that top spot. We got the blue wall behind us. They're going crazy. And for me, the highlight of this series is, I mean, this game is going to be the bot lane. I'm really hyped to see Upset Mikyx versus Caliste Targamas. Should be.
This is going to be a banger. I feel like the two of the
pretty good
lanes in the league, right? Caliste already making a name for himself. I feel like Targa has stepped up in a big way this year as well. A guy who was getting a lot of flack last year when KC was struggling. And it seems like in the breakup of Targamas Upset, both of them have traded up. You know? They both seem to be much happier in their new relationships, and we'll see who can reign supreme, at least in this best of one. First pick, Vi, already for Razork, a pick that he has been super dominant on. Ashe, something getting hovered, not something we've seen a lot of. Would actually like to see some more Ashe, but I will say not in this matchup. This is not what I want for Upset versus Caliste. If we get like Ashe versus Jhin, I'm going to leave. Someone else is going to come up here and cast.
I would really like to see the Ezreal. They're hovering it now. In my opinion, it's kind of looked like the best ADC after Kalista. I feel like it just kind of does the same thing that Varus does, lethality, just with mobility and so much more outplay potential. Kalista's looked great on it. I love how Koki's playing it. I'm really happy they locked it in.
Let's see how many ease forwards we see. I think across the board, our AD carry pool, a lot more aggressive playmaking than I'm used to seeing. Last year felt a lot more passive. Upset, obviously, notoriously a more reserved player. This year, it's a different story, and Caliste has not hesitated to flex on people, but KC taking their time.
Are we getting Yike, Viego? I mean, there's like signature picks.
The throwback classic. Okay, Zin.
Zhao. I mean, more standard, more meta.
Well, one thing we talked about the last time we cast a Vi game, which was probably the last game we cast, because almost every game is a Vi game.
That's true.
You have to be looking to shut this Vi down. You can't let her scale chill.
Yeah.
You can't let her scale quietly. And Zin will at least offer that opportunity to Yike.
Yeah, now you have a great fighting early game jungler in the Zhao, and you probably have a really strong winning bot with the Ezreal pick, especially if it's into the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa is more of like a scaling answer into this Ezreal. Might even look to swap, in which case it would be really good if KC could get some early aggression onto this Vi, try to deny Razork that level 6 power spike.
Yeah, welcome to League of Legends competitive, where we build up a 2v2 matchup and then we never see it.
Yeah,
it's a bit
it's
tragic.
a tough meta. Hopefully they'll figure it out soon, but...
Yeah, Kai'Sa obviously kind of the OG LPL counter to the Ezreal, one of the few champions that can stick to the Ezreal and out-damage him as we get later in the game, but you mentioned it, early game, still miserable. This has been a very normal trend for us in LEC. Kind of weird to say Kai'Sa getting picked into these losing matchups, but as you said, lane swap can kind of bail you out of that.
That's true, and it also works so well with this Ambessa and the Vi. You got the point to click in the Vi, and now everybody can just follow up and dive onto it. So I'd like to see maybe Fnatic ban out the Braum, since that's really good with the Zhao, really good into this dive comp. And if I'm Fnatic, I'm just banking all in on continuing the dive. You know, maybe we get the Silas or something mid lane, something that really wants to play aggressive, and an engaged support as well, and we're going in.
I like it. I mean, really, realistically, the Ambessa Vi combo, if it doesn't get set too far behind,
it's pretty idiot-proof.
I wasn't gonna. Yeah, it's pretty idiot-proof, right? Like it's gonna do what it's gonna do, and no one in the game is really gonna stop it. And Zhao feels good against a lot of champions, but the 3 champions locked in on the side of Fnatic, not so much one of them. We'll see if more range comes in, or if it's the Silas you talked about. For now, KC banning the Rumble, taking some of the more AP-focused options off the board. Kai'Sa can build into more AP, but usually you don't see that until 3rd, 4th item.
So it's going to be the Rel ban, actually, which I'm not really sure what they're setting up with that. They're going to be the one blinding supports, because most likely KC will just pick into this Ambessa on 4.
Talia as well. Okay. So potentially respect to early map mobility, recognizing the level 6 is strong, don't want to have any semi-globals.
Yeah, Talia Vi as well, really good combo. You just W onto the Vi ult.
All right, Fnatic, what is the final ban? Braum, obviously what you called out.
I'm hoping for a Braum ban, and then maybe they go for a Nautilus or something. Oh, Renekton, actually.
So perhaps more attention paid to Oscar in top lane. Could also be the Ambessa mid, did see it in our previous game.
I mean, Renekton is also a very good champion into these dive comps, because he can just stun whoever jumps in, and then they can focus that target down. Curious to see what...
The problem with Renekton people talk about is scaling, right? But in a game where everyone has to jump into you and you have a 1.5 second point and click stun, feels a lot better.
I think Renekton doesn't even scale bad these days, to be honest.
Wow.
Oh, they pick support on 4. Maybe they think this Ambessa is a flex, because they do have the Kai'Sa that's AP, and so they want to see where this Ambessa is going before they pick their top on 5. And now, you would usually want to answer the Braum into the Leona, but because you have Kai'Sa, you don't really want to do that, so it's probably just going to be a Rakan, as we see Harvard right now. And then we'll see where this Ambessa goes. I think top, but...
Rakan locked in now. Big skill matchup generally when you talk to support players about how this unfolds. Leona has the potential to disrupt so much of what Rakan does, but obviously post level 6, Rakan is just much more mobile. So many proactive playmaking tools. What is the final option here? Could be for Humanoid, could be for Oscar.
I think something that really wants to fight and join in on this team, whatever lane it goes.
Aurora is an option like that. Okay, brought out Humanoid.
Yeah, Aurora does that really well. She now provides a little bit more AoE, but also really has that synergy with the burst type of composition that they've created here. They just kind of want to all press their ultimates at the same time. And if they get the one-shot, they'll win the fight. If KC can kite back and play it slow, they'll win the fight. I do really like KC's comp as well, though. I think they've crafted a comp here that is really good at peeling back.
And I like this. I agree. Poppy, for me, the perfect option, right? Yes, there are some tools that are uninterruptible, some champions that are unstoppable, but if you stop that follow-up engage, if you stop that Rakan from getting into your back line, This is going to be so nice. And on top of that, Ambessa champion who's going to hate that Poppy W every second of the laning phase if we do get standard 2v2 lanes, although still don't know if we're going to get that.
I would be maybe surprised if Fnatic still end up going for the swap, because when you have the Rakan into Leona, it's actually a very chill matchup, because Rakan just outranges the Leona and you can just get Q sustained through the Ezreal poke. And since you have Ambessa into Poppy, I feel like if you swap, it's easy that you just set your Ambessa far behind, while it's really hard to punish the Poppy under tower. So I think we might have standard lanes on our hands here.
I would love a 2v2. The fans would love it too. KC fans, Fnatic fans in the house for our match of the week. Again, battle at the top of the table. If KC win, they secure first place, the luxury of selecting the teams, more or less, that go into the group. If you're familiar with our draw process, you'll get to see it on Monday. We'll hold out for that one. And Fnatic, unfortunately, would only be able to lock top 2, but that really is the position you want to be in. First and second, more or less interchangeable.
So if I'm a KC fan, what I really want to see is bot lane gets push, mid lane gets push, and Yike goes for an invade on this Vi and tries to mess up her early game pathing somehow. Can either be on fighting on Scuttle Crab or fighting on her red buff. Wherever he can find some sort of proactivity, should be good for LEC Corp.
This is definitely a very solid champion to do. We've seen some of the Nidalee games that have come out. Nidalee hasn't always been able to have that impact, but maybe a different story today. Something that we'll keep track of. And you know what? I love seeing a 5-point. You know, 5 people grouped up. Everybody picks a random bush. You just look to see if anyone's coming to invade your jungle. Is it the most boring level 1 on the face of the planet? Yes, but it's not the only level 1, as KC are continuing theirs.
We're getting a late invade here. It's going to be probably a Raptor invade here. They want to check the red buff as well to make sure the Vi's not starting anything. And it's going to be a split map situation, which means that Caliste and Targamas can play so aggressive in this 2v2. They really just want any trade to get going, because if they do, Yike can just wrap around and easily come dive, while Razork kind of can't. If he does that, his jungle pathing will just be so ruined.
What's the angle going to be? Early Acathian Rain trying to get a bit of a push here, matching so far.
Surely Fnatic must know. They should have seen the pathing. They should know.
Cautious pings.
I think how Upset and Mickey wants to play this is try to get the push, but don't give Targamas any all-in window. If you can get level 2 first, you're happy, but you're not gonna... Normally, if you get level 2 first here, they would Rakan W in right now and they would play incredibly aggressive. But because they know since I was behind, it's a really good ward. But it's still, they have to play a little bit safe, because Vi is... Either Vi accepts the fact that she just loses her bot side, or she's gonna try to utilize this mid and top push to actually invade the Xin Zhao, and we could have a fight here on the red buff.
It does mean that Humanoid and
Sneaks past the ward.
Need to sustain their lane pressure. Good highlight, Jack. Has managed to move in now. Looking to steal red. Yike sprinting up. Are they going to spot him? Crucially, Vladi locked under tower. Just showing up for a 2v2.
I think he won't check the red.
Ooh. Is he going to get away with this?
He might get away with that.
And this is big. Again, the name of the game is survive and get to 6.
Oh, he's gonna get it. Another question is, does he fight him or does he... Oh, he went to Krugs.
This is aggressive. Spots the Krug, makes it over the wall.
Oh, he gets the Krug camp though with the smite.
Razork getting out. So he does recoup some of his losses, but crucial to note, Yike still has 2 camps on the bottom side of the map waiting for him. Razork can move back and grab his grubs.
Yeah, I think overall both junglers kind of happy. Ends up being a relatively equal trade. Razork will pick up the top Scuttle Crab here and maybe either recall into Krugs or try to walk through mid and get the bot Scuttle as well. Both junglers decent with this trade.
Yeah.
You got Mickey around mid here.
Well played again by Razork to avoid the early vision. Good ward from Fnatic as well to spot Yike out. Of course, Sin doesn't have the same tools to make it over the wall. But fire matched with fire. Targa level 3 though, walking into mid.
I'll make my face check.
Quick Q. Yike looking for the fall, dash over the wall, but now it's Humanoid in trouble. The W doesn't quite take him back.
Really good E there by Targamas to catch out Humanoid. Makes it so that he has to use his flash. And just kind of predicts that Mickey will jump away so he can get onto him. Overall though, really good laning so far by both Fnatic bot lane and Fnatic mid. Getting the cheater recall on Kai'Sa and getting Cull feels really good in this matchup. And Humanoid getting a really good HP lead on Vladi.
Yeah, in so many of the games where we've seen Ezreal, we haven't seen the Kai'Sa option come out. And you have these moments where Ezreal just gets to Q poke for free in every single fight. And this is not going to be one of those games, not just because of the Kai'Sa, obviously the Ambessa and the buy as well, but it's going to be tricky for Caliste. You know, so many of his moments are him styling and outplaying, and this is a game where he's going to need that support from his team because one Ezreal E and a flash, you know, might not be enough.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot on this Poppy and Leona to set him up for success with how they're peeling him. I think when I played the Kai'Sa a lot into Ezreal, it felt like kind of a fake answer because it takes so long for the Kai'Sa to actually get scaling up. But what I really like about this Fnatic draft is this Rakan pick that really changes the dynamic of the matchup because it gives you so much sustain. Every Rakan Q makes it so that this Ezreal poke isn't actually that dangerous and means that you can get push, and Ezreal without push is a completely different champion.
Mikyx locked up, does manage to get the knockup. The grand entrance. Walking away. And I mean, it's a good call. Gleaming Quill, I remember when Rakan came out, I think I called it the worst ability in the game. It was not very exciting or interesting. And while it still isn't a flashy ability compared to the rest of the kit, right, it is so crucial to just surviving, to holding on. I think the big struggle always in a lot of these matchups against the Ezreal is mid-push will be tricky. Ezreal always has that, always has the extra range. We'll see if Fnatic have a way to deal with that. But for now, I'm enjoying standard lanes. Yeah, you know? This is nice. An understandable pace of game, objective around the corner. Grubs are going to be up in 10 seconds. Probably there's going to be a fight for either Dragon or the Grubs, and we'll find out.
Yeah, I think if I'm Fnatic, I'm really happy cross-mapping these Grubs for Drake. How I kind of view the Kai'Sa into Ezreal matchup is that the early phases, Ezreal's a lot stronger. When Kai'Sa gets level 6, she has good fighting windows. And then after... Oh, we got a fighter.
Flash back. Ooh. Nice use of the ulti. Well played by Humanoid, just managing to dodge out of that one.
That looked really cool. He just jumped over the Azir ult.
Yeah, and that's not an interaction that I'm used to seeing. Yeah, I mean, very well timed from Humanoid. Saves the weirding as well, just to make sure that the W, so he can kind of shotgun himself backwards. Downside is it does cost a decent amount, so while they don't get to play, they will be first on the Grubs. Of course, in the meantime, Drake was taken down by Fnatic, so 1-1 the objective score so far. And despite how insanely bloody Fnatic early games often are, this game has been quiet, but I do think that'll start to change now that Razork's level 6 is right around the corner.
Yeah, I think Razork, when he hits this level 6, I'd assume he's going to look around Vladi, who has no flash. I think that's a really good target for him to go for. I think both bot and top are way too safe, with both having sums up and their kits just being really inherently safe. I think Humanoid as well is trading really well around this mid lane, creating proactivity. So should be a good spot for Razork to look for.
It's a good call on Humanoid as well. Look at the CS difference between these two mid laners. Caliste now in trouble. Upset now trying to follow up the buy. Goes through this. Just too much CC. One Ezreal on his loads up. One more Rhino gets the job done.
Man, Razork is the best buy in EU. That Q flash he just did on Caliste there from Fog of War was so good. It's so hard to react to. And he seems to be the only Vi in our region that can just consistently pull it off again and again and again.
Every time you say it, it sounds like a meme, but now that we finally have
it is hard to
video evidence, yes, it's well played.
Even my junglers couldn't do it.
Topside Oscar, maybe fishing for an all-in here. Does have the ulti, does have the public execution, but Khan, of course, has an ulti of his own. Level 4 Targamas trying to hold his wave. It's a little bit awkward, but Yike is on the way. Maybe anticipating a little bit of greed from his former support, Mikyx. Many supports in our league do like to stop the holding of the wave.
That's true. That's a classic support. I mean, it is quite good what he did here, though. It does make it so that Caliste loses around 4 or 5 less minions. So you can see the CS differential between the Kai'Sa and the Ezreal isn't too big. But still, as the Kai'Sa, getting this early lead is so nice for you. And it means that now, on the next Vi ult, Ezreal has no flash, and you can just go back and do the exact same thing over again.
Can they just rinse and repeat? This is what we saw against GX, right? Just constantly bullying, diving a lot in that swap scenario. Maybe something that they do again. And if they can just take away the portion of the game where Ezreal feels most impactful, it gets really tricky for KC to play through the rest of the map, especially as Humanoid just continues to build a bit of a lead here, as Khan is falling a bit behind in terms of pressure. I don't really know what the avenue for KC to play is. Yike's still a powerhouse comparatively, but gonna need those crucial cooldowns to come through.
And a really important part of this dynamic here is the fact that Mikyx has his support item completed. And if you look at both sides of the map, it's completely dark for K-Corp. It's so hard for this Ezreal to play aggressive, and he really needs to respect. Vi could choose to go into Krugs now and then look for another gank around this bot lane. And because Targamas has no wards, I could easily see it working again.
It is difficult. Just that slight difference in timing. We'll see when Targamas is finally able to tick over.
And it's so hard for Yike to really match this aggression that Vi wants to create because the map is all blue, which is not good for K-Corp in this instance because
this is the only
it's
time
all blue
we
words.
the only time. KC has not been excited about the map being blue. The bottom side though, Fnatic again. As you said it would happen, so it happens, Mr. Spectra. This time, the flash not needed for Razork. It doesn't have it either, but now it's going to fall off onto Yike. Instantly, Upset's going to go in 2. Ulti comes out from Caliste, only tagging onto 1. Super decisive picks from Fnatic in this game.
My goodness, Razork on Vi. Man, he just predicts the Yike flashing over the wall and predicts him with the ultimate, and they just follow it up so well. This is a nice Fnatic.
Do you think Yike charges him rent now that he's living in his head? Or is it a rent-free experience? Is it a does he inherit the apartment from someone? Is it a Berlin sort of situation? And the Karmine fans ready to go. KC fans, no, they want more. Canna, getting a bit frisky on the top side. Isn't going to stick around for too long, though. Obviously, a bit tricky with the Ambessa having all that built-in healing. Here's the play once again, the Q, and again, the timing on the ulti.
Waits. He waits as long as he can to start the channel of the ulti, to follow him with the flash, and then he doesn't have any timing. Yike has no timing to actually ulti because it's all a CC chain, and he just gets one shot.
Nothing that he can do. And again, good patience. If he ults immediately and Yike can flash away and ulti himself, there might not be a play there. But Yike setting up again for another grub spawn. This is a little bit awkward. We've seen a lot of 4th rate games, so I don't mind
Canna's recalling. Yike is no flash.
TP in. Yike sticking around, just trying to keep him interested. Decent healing from the Xin means he's not really suffering. Humanoid now coming in. Oscarinin on the way with ulti as well. Razork, no ulti. Targamas only level 5. Mikyx with the level 6. They have to be careful. Ulti comes in from Humanoid. Yike trying to go all in. Mikyx instantly going to find 3 with his ulti. The quickness now coming out. Oscarinin unsure if he wants to go in. Nice wall bang coming in from Canna. The follow-up not quite there. Gets over the wall, but not this time. Vladi ready to follow. KC blinking health bars. Yike finding the kill on the Fnatic mid laner, but the Upset's coming through. The ulti. Everything for Fnatic. 2 kills on the side. Upset finding one with the Academy Rain. Looking for a few more. Looking for his montage moment as the rest of the team is backing him up. Q win from Razork. Canna nowhere to go. Upset taking over in Fnatic versus KC.
I can't believe this worked out for Fnatic, Drakos. This was a 4v5. Upset's in base. Look at him. Yet he somehow still makes it for the end of this fight, and he's able to clean up all the kills, and it's kited out by Fnatic so beautifully. They buy enough time, and they chunk them down, so that by the time Upset is here, he can kill them all.
And there's just nothing that KC could do. They're just out of tools. The ulti good, but the follow-up damage not there. They couldn't finish off those initial kills, the initial pick that they found on Humanoid, and this is where Kai'Sa wants to be. You're sitting there, your Q hits like a truck, everybody's low health. You got probably the evolve ahead of schedule. You're living a dream, but as the graph shows us, as much as we're hyping up Upset, Humanoid, the big monster there.
I mean, the highlight of that fight wasn't Upset. It kind of was Upset, but it was more the Fnatic members setting him up for success so that by the time he joins the fight, there's a good fight that he can actually salvage. So I want to give props to Humanoid and Razork there and Mikyx for just buying time, playing space, and just making such a good situation for Upset. And I feel like that's been, for me, a bit story of this team. That they've been setting Upset so well up for success that we've seen a completely different Upset than we have last year.
They changed the copy pasta. I checked. I was memeing about it. They changed it. Upset goes in now. He's not messing around. And credit to him, having the team to support him seems to be the difference to make this guy really shine. And this is where it gets difficult for Caliste, right? Upset, 1 item, working his way towards his second. Ezreal doesn't even have the Triforce. And while you still can have that impact on Ezreal, it's really hard when you fall behind.
Oh, Upset is in...
Right as we praise him, that's a caster card. That's not where you want to be. Ults right back into the waiting arms. His ticket burning manages to make it out. That's not allowed. Fnatic now trying to get a few more kills. Yike making wind, making lightning, but not making much of an impact in that top lane fight.
How does he survive that? He gets a Seer ulted in. Oh,
he's just baiting. He thought Upset would just try to move, would try to walk away.
I mean, if Yike has flash there,
he W flashes for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe Upset somehow gets out. It's a very peculiar face check. I'm not sure what he was going for, but it somehow ends up being just a kill for Fnatic. Let's watch it again.
Okay, so he goes in.
He gets a Azir ulted.
He should die. Shield
it's such a good ult by Razork. He ults Vladi so that he can't get any auto attacks off on Upset. I mean, this is just perfectly highlights. Upset can literally walk in 1v3, and Fnatic members still make him look like the GOAT.
I mean, credit to Upset. He's playing this game super well, but this is a solo queue moment that so many people can relate to, where you're the support, you're the jungler, you're burning everything to keep your AD alive, and he's like, don't worry, guys, I'll carry you.
That's the feats of strength there, secured for Fnatic, with Ambessa getting that top tower. Really big for them. Just gives them a little bit more gold value on these boots. And overall, this is a very clean Fnatic. We now have the first item power spike on Caliste, but is it enough?
It will be really difficult. The other thing is, when we talk about how this team works as a 5-man unit for KC, you can see the tools they have to disrupt Fnatic, but with the individual leads Fnatic are bringing to the table, it's going to be hard for KC to find that opportunity to group up on their terms, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a fist fight for mid-prio right now. Caliste should just win mid-prio.
Yeah.
And yet he's going to have to still fight for every wave. Range advantage still in his favor. At the very least, KC do still have that. But it's tough to play out.
And Fnatic here are matching really well. K-Corp go for an intelligent play, trying to create a numbers advantage around top, but Fnatic reads it really well. Mikyx and Razork there sat in fog of war in the top bush, making it so that Ambessa could catch this wave, and they're just kind of denying these plays that can be hard to see, which is choking K-Corp out even more.
Humanoid might have to be a bit careful here. Oh, some extra movement speed.
In trouble, yeah?
Autos from the Poppy. Just positive traits from Canna.
But this is a bit of the problem with the K-Corp draft is we talked about Fnatic, all of them want to dive in, and they all have so many tools to make fights happen. With the K-Corp team composition here, you have the Leona ult, but that's kind of it. It's hard to really get a Poppy stun. If Zhao is going to go onto you, it's pretty short range, so it's pretty easy to avoid that. And they kind of need to either just rely on the Leona or rely on Fnatic messing up and going too deep and then kiting it back out, and then the counter engage.
I think the big thing to know here, 6 grubs for KC at the very least. So while they will lose Herald, while they're losing push on the top side of the map, they should be able to shred this tower at a decent pace. Not super fast.
I would want Yike to just hit this tower with Vladi so they could get the tower on this wave. But instead he's opting to defend mid because Fnatic might be diving mid here.
Yike locked up. Initial wind becomes lightning, good burst damage going down. They don't want to overcommit.
Ulti and upset. That would be crazy.
Why do you wish death upon this?
I mean, it would definitely be very bad, but it would be like crazy. I mean,
it would be crazy. That's the problem with slang. I never know what you mean. You know, which version of the word. Yike waiting to try and queue in. Fnatic playing really respectfully. We talked about yesterday both these teams, I think, not playing their best, a little bit undisciplined in a lot of instances, and Fnatic definitely bringing a lot more of that discipline today.
They are locked in.
Oh. You win, Canna, nice interrupt here. Razork takes a decent chunk of damage. Poppy could be big to change the fight. Ambessa out now. KC immediately pulled the trigger, seeing this as a limited opportunity. Fnatic retreating. The flash from Canna awkward. Thought he had the wallbang action. Thought he could just smack him in, find the stun.
Still looks like it's first Drake position here for K-Corp. And Caliste can look to poke them down as they try to re-enter, but Humanoid has TP.
Razork on the flank. Ulti available. I think KC need to start a fight of their own. Yike recognizes it too, now trying to follow up instantly. Targamas, though, not getting the angle. Ambessa into the backline. They're trying to get Oscar out. Razork going in on the Caliste. Humanoid now following. Everybody on top of this Ezreal. They will not let Caliste play the game. Vladi, the last man standing.
And this Fnatic is looking disciplined, diligent. They're playing it slow when they need to, and they're turning it on exactly when they need to. Beautiful flash ult by Razork, and they're doing everything right.
And you can see here, while the fight starts positively for KC, or it looks like it might when Targamas and Yike are on the same page, there's no follow-up damage.
And nobody's killing this Ambessa. She just jumps onto Caliste, and even though she was kind of 1v3 for 5, 6, 7 seconds, she's still not dying.
And I think this is the great strength of the Fnatic composition that we highlighted earlier. Ambessa pushes R, anyone pushes R, Kai'Sa gets to follow. Caliste does not have that same luxury, so you have these fights where everyone has to decide, are we diving into them or are we peeling for Caliste? And if everyone's not on the same page, you're not winning that fight, and you're definitely not winning it with this kind of deficit.
Yeah, and this Fnatic team comp, if you're decisive and you're ahead, it becomes so easy to play. You find the right windows, you pull the trigger, and you just instantly get rewarded. It becomes so hard for K-Corp. I think Ezreal needs 2 items, Azir needs 2 items, and they need a dream.
Yeah. And I think really this game is the culmination of a couple early game plays. Early kills from Razork, the play around the Herald where Upset is able to clean up, and that's really where it got out of control for KC, and they're in a situation now where They certainly need time, but they're also kind of just hoping that Fnatic make a mistake, that they overstep, and that they can find some free gold, some free objectives to get themselves into a better position to fight.
And to be fair, Fnatic has been known to do that.
Yes.
Especially last year, they had a lot of leads and they were looking incredibly dominant. And then at the last hurdle, they got a bit too greedy. They went for a little bit too much. Now this Fnatic in this game, I'm not seeing them do that at all. But that's the hope and dream that you have as a K-Corp fan.
I'm also just wondering what too much would look like with this kind of lead.
Yeah, they can go for a lot.
It's 20 minutes, it's an 8,000 gold lead. So they'd really have to whole hand in the cookie jar, whole face in the cookie jar.
This is a nice cross map from K-Corp here though. Trading equally tier 2 towers feels really good when you're this far behind. And you have the objective bounties on top of it. They could even look for cheese here onto the Ambessa and drop the Atakan in favor of it. I think that's what we're gonna have a look at here, yeah.
Oscar.
Yes, flash.
Trying to dash out, doesn't quite get the wall. Ulti will take him away from the Poppy. Good patience. The fact that they don't get the wall stun there is devastating. Now Atakan has come out. Fnatic 13 kills to 2. Absolute domination with Atakan secure. There's really nothing the KC can do. Upset going godlike.
And Targamas is not on the same page here. His team is looking for this bot side play, but he kind of wants to contest the Atakan or do something. But he's just left to die. And now it's a 4v5 with the Atakan. They still have the Kai'Sa, Rakan, and Aurora ult. So I could see them going for more.
Ulti decent is going to hit 3.
He does clear the whole wave with that ult. So that, for me, spells that Fnatic wants to base. I also want to highlight Oscarinin in that bot side play. That was really nice buffer of the Azir ult. And overall, Fnatic this game, mechanically, playing really, really clean.
It has to be respected, because that was supposed to be the trade play.
Yeah.
Even if Oscar dies there, it's still a positive trade for Fnatic, because KC are so far behind. They just need to get what money they can. They're chasing shutdowns, chasing picks on side lanes. But the fact that he lives and they get Atakan, it's insult to injury.
I think Vladi might be in trouble here.
Canna can try and peel. Humanoid can just chase.
Razork has ulti soon.
Q in. Canna with the interrupt. Defensive tool is starting to be gone. Mikyx spotted by Targa. But it's so difficult to stop Mikyx. You don't really have the damage. Upset now chasing. Instant charm flash going in. Fnatic, they've just got too many tools to chase down KC. KC don't even feel like they're overextending. It turns out they were, just because the range, the engage start from Fnatic is too much. Upset legendary.
Can they end? They might look for it here. They still have the Atakan buff.
It's 22 minutes. We've been having 40-minute games all weekend long. Fnatic aren't about to have it though. They're just so far ahead. Caliste manages once again to chip away at the wave, but Fnatic are in a position to just body block. He doesn't even have second item to spike. They instantly now go in, pull the trigger. Caliste about to fall. Caliste taken down. Yike, the last man standing. Fnatic probably just going to end it here. 7 seconds of Vladi. Targamas up as well. It's a bit greedy. It's a bit crazy, but they've got the buff. The false life might keep them going. Trying to get Humanoid out of the equation. Sends Panicking back to the base. Upset blinking health bar, looking for the shutdowns. Vladi building a turret of his own, trying to keep the Emperor strong. Mikyx about to be taken out. Vladi on the chase. Upset retreating. KC need to keep chasing this one out.
Might look to chase here fully. Drake's up in 45. If they can try to wait out the Atakan and then kill Upset, it's nearly expiring. 5-6 seconds left on it.
KC fans loud and proud despite what's starting to feel like an inevitability for Fnatic.
Upset's no flash.
Waiting, perhaps on the false life timer.
Beautiful
Upset
W there by
cleanse.
Mikyx.
Humanoid trying to peel. Shut down! Canna, clean timing. We wanted to see it more with the Atakan. Gets him right as the false life fades.
And Upset is dead for the soul here. I think Upset should have just died earlier with his team to get the Atakan revive. Now he's so off tempo, and this should be a free Drake for K-Corp.
Oscar, they're going to spot him, but do they even want this fight? Rooting, they're using so much. Caliste laying down a bit more damage, but Oscar really just does not take damage. I think they bit off a bit more than they could chew. Yike now trying to finish it, but Oscar just dancing around him. A quick Drake Hound step. Down goes Vladi. Humanoid chasing as well. Caliste untouched for the first time, and it feels like the entire game, but it might be too late. Razork continuing to chase. Caliste running. Canna there to peel. This is Caliste's time to shine. He didn't get a chance in the early game. He might get one now. Mikyx taken down. Another one on the list, another shutdown for the side of KC, buying themselves a bit more time.
And you can see Fnatic is so strong. Even 4v5, they're still coming out with winning the fight. It's so difficult for K-Corp to get any sort of advantage, and now Fnatic has first access to Soul.
And if they weren't so hilariously far ahead, Oscar would have died there, and it would have been a massive throw. But this is the rich man's privilege, right?
Yeah.
You can make mistakes like that. You can get caught out, and it does not matter. Some gold back for KC, yes. But with Soul, with Infernal Soul, with this many items,
Oh, you can see here, Oscarinin normally, when you get the Ezreal onto him, you'd think he just gets one shot. But it's a beautiful flash ult by Humanoid to kind of split the fight up and just do a ton of damage, which allows him to survive even longer. And the fact that they're just so far ahead that it's so difficult for K Corp to kill anyone. And Canna is so late that he can only really kind of offer a bit of a, like, happy...
He's menacing, goes in, looks kind of scary maybe a little bit.
But it's too little, too late.
And this is hard, because this game started off so good for Yike. He's on the Xin, and he doesn't do anything anymore. He can ult, but they'll just chase him down. Oscar's into the backline now. He's ulting and keeping himself a bit alive a bit longer, but it's Targamas getting taken out. The support sacrificed for the good of the team. Just buy them a few more minutes in this game, but with Baron just now spawning, Humanoid not quite making it over the wall, but the poke is disgusting. Upset already has Nashers.
Yeah, and I don't see Yike getting into this pit. This is going to be Nash for Fnatic. And they're probably going to look to play mid and bot and get 3 inhibs and then make it a clean W.
So important, Fnatic. Lock top 2 with this win, no matter what anyone else does. Might be first in the end, we'll have to see, but guarantees themselves that position of power over their opponents in the group stage in the next round in playoffs.
I think after this win, they might not be locked top 1, but in my heart, they're top 1.
They're looking like the best.
Yeah, they're looking pretty damn good.
This is tough, this decisiveness, something we've seen from K Corp in their best games, now seeing it from Fnatic, and what might be one of theirs against one of the strongest opponents.
Razork still no ulti. They decide the better of it and back off.
I might have caster cursed that. We were really hyping up game time here, and now I'm thinking it might be a 30-minute one.
I mean, I think they will end on this Nash. They're going to go into bot lane here, and I think they can easily just tower dive. Unless someone on Fnatic dies now, I think the game will end on this Nash. And nobody died now.
I was waiting. I thought maybe. I feel like we've cursed a lot of teams in your brief time here in our, what, 7 or 8 games we've cast together. Not this time.
But have we also blessed a lot of teams? Maybe?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
People only look at the curses, not the blessings.
That's true. There's some negativity bias.
Yeah, focus on the positive, guys.
Yeah, look on the bright side.
Fnatic are looking good.
Fnatic are looking good for the EMEA fans, for the Fnatic fans. For the KC fans, I think the bright side is, look, you have a week off, you come back for best of 3s that are fearless, it's a completely different game, and you've already locked playoffs. This one, this is for the ego, this one is to make a statement.
I mean, this is a game that just, it goes out of control, right? They have so good champs to pull the trigger, and when you fall behind against a comp like that, it just...
Razork Q in the ulti, upset behind the entire team, but no one can really get on top of him. Humanoid falling up now as well. Yike buying a bit more space. Ulti coming in from the Poppy, does knock upset out, and that's going to be big. But too many members are already down. Yike getting taken out. The carries are already dead. The good ult from Canna just came too late. Body blocking, a steadfast presence maybe. They're not steadfast enough to stop the base from falling. Fnatic moving up, securing top 2. Playoffs was not enough. This team wants more as they tear through KC.
And this Fnatic roster with this upset and this Razork and the aggression, while also having the discipline to understand when you don't need to go for more, I'm in love with this roster, and I'm super excited to see how they'll do in the best of stage and how they'll do further.
I mean, it feels like an arms race in terms of development about which team can improve the fastest. Your Kia player of the game, vote now at LEC on X, Razork, Upset, or Mikyx.
That's Razork.
Are your options. Razork looking good.
That Vi was great.
The Vi was clean. I feel for Yike. He's supposed to be the early game powerhouse, but he felt so unplayable. Credit to KC. They'll get another chance tomorrow. We'll see if they'll also be able to secure a higher position. But for now, we're going to send it to a quick break. Afterwards, Mikyx will be joining us on the analyst desk. Don't go anywhere.
Hey Drakos, you ready for the... Oh, that doesn't look good. Wait, I have a solution, but you have a break. I will be right back. Just wait.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
See? I told you we'd figure it out.
I don't think this counts.
Come on, let's go.
Wait, is he switching lanes?
Red Bull gives you wings.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.